Jared Cannonier, who is scheduled to take on Robert Whitaker, 185 pounds. The winner of that fight is going to qualify to take on the winner of Adesanya versus Costa. Okay. Well, Cannonier has now come out and said, I want to be the replacement fighter to fill in for, should anything happen to, Paulo Costa, Izzy Adesanya. I love that. And I know a lot of people are asking, is that the right move? When you already have a fight that's coming up, is that the right move? I think it is always the right move. And more times than not, we have seen guys raise their hand and be the only ones to raise their hand and therefore be given the job. Just because they were the only one that showed up. I mean, I know many things went into Gilbert Burns getting his title opportunity, but one of the main factors, definitely the one that hedged it, that put the weight on the scale and lifted that teeter-totter up, was him raising his hand after he got done with T-Wood and saying, I feel great, I am ready to go. No negotiating here publicly or in a back room. I just want the match. Could I have the match? Yep. Stipe ultimately fell into a title shot. He was a lot brasher, but that's exactly what happened. George St. Pierre ultimately got his first title shot by getting on his hands and knees in the octagon in front of Joe Rogan while giving an interview and begged for a title shot. I mean, there's something about that. A lot of times you want to give a guy who wants it the most what he wants. I think it's very wise when Cannonier does things like this. And I realize we don't always see it work out. For example, we've been told, at least by rumor, that Conor McGregor was offered the fight against Tony Ferguson, the one that Justin Gaethje ended up taking. Conor said, I got no problem fighting Ferguson, but I'm not doing it under these circumstances because that makes me a replacement fighter, and I'm no replacement fighter. Okay, there's no problem. It was an opportunity lost. Perhaps Conor is not a replacement fighter. For sure, Conor is not a champion today. The guy who did step in, named Justin Gaethje, is for sure a champion today, and that's all right. That's what's at risk, though, if something's going to offend you or bother you. Now, I don't know that anything is going to stop Izzy and Costa from getting in the ring. Izzy never misses a fight, and Costa wanted this fight so bad. If you guys will remember, he had some doctor's note in Brazil clearing him like 7 months before an actual doctor would clear him. Now, we can have a good laugh at that all we want, but we cannot question his sincerity in wanting to compete. I believe if there's ever been a match that's going to stay intact, it's that one. That's what I believe. I also believe for Jared Cannonier to come out and show us how bad he wants something and the willingness that he's willing to go through to get what it is he wants has to mean something. Don't forget, Cannonier's been out for a period of time. He was suffering a damaged pec muscle. I want to say he even tore it. I mean, he's been out for a period of time. He's willing to walk right in to a world title match, which means it's 5 rounds. If you look at why not, 1 month later, he's scheduled to take on the former world champion in a main event for 5 rounds. Why not do it a little bit quicker? I mean, if this is the scenario, whether it plays out or not, I do think that Jared Cannonier, at a minimum, has now led us in to his mindset. He now gets to enter the group that we all love the most, the competitors group, the guys that are here to compete, not to play a game and not to do business. They're here to compete. Jared definitely qualifies for that. I would predict that Jared gets that spot. And I will also predict we're not going to need it. Izzy and Costa are going to fight as scheduled. But as far as having a plan goes and having somebody there to weigh in who's licensed, who's ready, one guy said he would do it. As far as I'm concerned, that one guy just got the job.